I mean, how many concerts have you played in and you came out thinking, my God, that was the worst recital I've given in my life? And then you get someone coming up from the audience and tells you, my God, that was incredible. I mean, it's the same thing. It really is, in a way.
For sure, but
You know.
that gets to another thing where you basically work for this. This is something that I've been fascinated with actually. That the observation that, for instance, I remember after reading the diaries of Richter and and his notes after concerts and stuff, that he pretty much had no concert that he was ever satisfied with. Although
Yeah.
for the majority of us, we listen and it's like, oh, this is godlike, this is like divine music,
Yeah.
and all his performances, and how could he not be satisfied with that? But then this comes to the level where you actually work so much on your craft that this should be the aim, I think, to anybody, not competing with anybody else, but rather escalating your level to such a degree that it can be, even on your off day, you can be in a, say, different dimension, so that for people you don't have an off day. Like, it's already such a high standard that it's always enjoyable for people, let's say.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
I now measure my concerts with...
Yet.
Yeah, but it's just, as I said, it's how you view things. So now, instead of, obviously we all have bad moments in concerts, and we've all had the time, we've all had the moment when you completely forgot who you are on stage, and you forget every note on the and the times when you think that goddamn trill is not working, or blah blah blah, and so on. So, if you really want to get picky in things, then obviously it's a perfectionist profession in a way. So you'd be there for months just trying to pick on yourself. But I now measure my concerts with, did I die? No, so it's fine.
Yeah,
and did I enjoy doing it?
People ask quite often but are you happy with the performance? Did you enjoy? Do you think how did you do? Like, it was great, but are you happy with it? It's like, well, I just became comfortable with, like, okay, this is how it went. That was that. And there's always, if I start picking on myself, then this is a road that can bring you to lots of destructive thoughts, and you can pick on yourself endlessly. Always, there's so many components that can be improved, but in the end of the day, that was that performance. You learn from it and then move on to the next one, rather than but when you're a student, well, I remember when I was still in teenage years, back in the day, that I would destroy
you're an old man,
myself.
I keep forgetting.
I'm an old man. I would destroy myself. Like, even you cannot keep your temper even during the performance. Like, you totally phase out. It's audible. You get angry, and it destroys the whole thing. And then I go out and literally bang my head in the wall because I'm not really happy with what happened. Although it's like, when you look back, you're laughing about it because the perspective of it is hilarious. It's, I guess, on the path of personal growth, this is something that you have to go through one way or another.
I think it's just when you realize that you need to take things less seriously sometimes, and just remember you enjoy what you do in a way. And like I said, nobody died, you didn't die. And it's fine, and that imaginary agent that somehow might come in every recital of yours really wasn't there, and the head of Deutsche Grammophon didn't really cancel didn't cancel his ticket last minute. You just these awful things that they tell you before you go on, and be like, oh, you never know who's going to be listening. I know who's going to be listening, and I don't care. And that's, I think, the moment when you but it's, I have ups and downs in performances, and it's really ultimately down sometimes to sometimes to how I slept the night before, or how if my traveling was too long, or more importantly, everybody who knows me says I'm far too moody. So sometimes, if in a bad mood, I just don't play well.
Well, I mean,
but that doesn't
you
make it
have
special.
to be moody, because then there should be some, like, this is also depending on the level of sensitivity you've got, and the approach to things. So that's only normal. But we're not robots, so they cannot be like. I'm sure that there is a level of consistency, but there is ups and downs within that.
Yeah,
That's
no,
precisely what I was saying. So it's I completely agree with this. But and everybody had that. If you listen to Sofronitsky, people said that often he would play like a pig, and then he would come out again and build the most genius thing.
But no, this interesting. Interesting you mention this because, going back to the definition of success, you can see, you can also pick on what is the definition of a successful performance. I'm not going to name who it is, and I'm not going to name who they are actually, but this happened maybe last November or something, and a few of my students all played in an orchestra of this particular pianist, and they gave a concerto. I can't remember which concerto it was, and I couldn't make the concert. So I naturally said, how did the
Don't say which concerto because people can track it
down.
down.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And I asked, I couldn't stay, last night, blah, blah, blah. I had to go home. How did the concerto go? And with that exception, the 3 students I asked, the first thing they opened up with was, they had a memory slip. And then I just thought, okay, but how was the overall performance? They were brilliant. It was very musical. It was great. So I said, but was the memory, if you must really talk about this memory slip, was it really embarrassing? I'm like, no, it was just a little tiny bit at the beginning. And you think, so why did you open with that? So what I'm saying is, this wasn't one student. This was 3 of the students, all, and I'm not making this up, they all started explaining that performance and describing it by that memory slip. And it just makes you really sad that, and often this is, I'm not going to use the YouTube comment section as as an example to, justify my point. But it is, unfortunately, in what we do, criticism is becoming more important than I wouldn't say compliments, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's.
But this is also the fascination with perfection that.
But that's what I point. But what is but that's what I think. I'm not good. I know this is a cliche thing, and many musicians would agree with me, and some will completely disagree with me. But never mind professional musicians. I know so many people who are just music lovers who will say, I'd rather go to a performance that had so many wrong notes and so many memory slips, but it was so musically inspiring, than go to a concert that was note perfect, absolutely brilliant, but no spirit. And no engagement between the artist and the performance. Obviously we should aim to have both. But a great example, a few weeks ago, I was watching the category final of the BBC Young Musician of the Year. Mm-hmm. And the pianist who you're probably going to have to cut this out, but the pianist who ended up winning the category was by far, my God bless him, he had so many, hairy moments, as they say. He had a few mistakes and so on, but my God, was he the most engaging performer of them all. I didn't think he'll get through because I thought, there's far too many wrong notes, and from my experience in these competitions, it's one wrong note, you're out. And I was so pleased to know that the jury chose someone that really did speak to the audience. And they chose the artist rather than the machine.
It is unusual,
it is.
But why should this be celebrated as this is an exception when it has to be the standard?
That's my point. That's the point I'm trying to make.